So after several hours in the bus, we're about here at the Juyongguan Pass. I had thought we might be at Badaling, but apparently not. No harm done. We're going to be heading up onto the wall. As soon as we find out which way the entrance is, I guess, we'll follow our guide. Okay, at the moment we are on our own to do the climbing, and there is a lot of climbing to do, depending on how far I want to go. I have no idea how far this will take me, how much time I'll have. I have gotten till 1:15, and it's before noon right now. So we're gonna see what happens here.
In all honesty, I think I want to get up to the Seoul Tower up there. I think that's what it's called, but I can't guarantee that I'll make it.
Then again, it could be argued that this is what I've been practicing for all the time I've been here. All those 15-degree inclines at the gym. See how far it gets me, and if I can burn off enough calories to make it worth my while. Ooh. Well, you have to dodge everybody that's taking selfies along here. This part of the wall was built in the Ming Dynasty. At about the same time as the emperor, whose tomb we're visiting, moved the capital from Nanjing, literally the southern capital, to Beijing, the northern capital. And all of a sudden, the Mongols were much more of a threat than they had been in Nanjing. So it was imperative that the wall be built, and built well, to keep them out. Of course, much of the wall existed before the Mongols, but the parts around Beijing are fairly new. And by new, I mean 600 years ago, as opposed to 2000. I don't need to tell you, it's a long way up, as you can see. And this doesn't even, what you can see right here isn't even near the Seoul Tower or any of the Watchtowers yet. So, the steps are uneven, both in height and width, even now. And that's with a handrail. I'm guessing that the workers who died building this thing may have died more often from falls than from overwork. It's steep here, to say the least. And after a while, slightly disorienting even. It took me 10 minutes to get this far. I'm at the first watchtower out of, I think, 3. I can see this old tower right here. And let's see if I can make it there. In the meantime, though, let's take a look at the area beyond. This is what I've left behind. It's a long way, to say the least. I may have spoken too soon. The trip to the second watchtower is pretty steep in its own right before turning off. So keep an eye on me and wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Well, every time I think I'm just about there, or at least just about the right height, I can just take a turn, look at the road I've got to go on before I get to the next watchtower. This is a real thing. I'm at watchtower number 10, and I guess I'm going to have to turn around and head back because, honestly, I only have so much time, and I think I've gone a lot further than I did the last time I was here at Badaling. So, consider it an accomplishment as it is. I know this is different than usual, but this is a world wonder. It's a little special, so I think I'll take a pause here. And didn't make it to the Seoul Tower, but a little bit of your soul here is cast to the winds. You gotta reach for this handrail because they're not kidding. Each step is a little slow. And that's the thing. I ran into somebody who was heading up to the Seoul Tower, and he's like, I thought I was the only royal person up here. Kind of surprised to spot me here, and I'm kind of surprised I'm here myself. But he did say that his guide said that it is a longer trip down than it is up. Because if you're going up and you trip, you just fall forward onto the next step. You fall here, and it's a long way down. As I was saying to him, I just kind of picture the Chinese guards of the Ming Dynasty spotting the Mongols coming from out there and just charging down here, yelling, "The Mongols are coming, the Mongols are coming," in, you know, like some kind of Chinese Paul Revere, only to trip on the stairs and knock each other over like a bunch of 10 pins. That obviously wouldn't do any good for anybody involved. That's why they build these watchtowers. They'd set a light, fire or smoke or whatever, depending on whether it's night or day, in order to send signals to the next watchtower, who would do the same, and further on down the line, and so forth. There, like I said, these steps are uneven. Some of them are only a few inches high, and some of them are practically a foot drop, and you really have to pay attention. So it's going to be very difficult for me to keep talking and addressing you. But man, there are some real views to show you here. You can probably see a little bit more of the wall way over here, and that's on the other side of the parking lot and the other side really of the pass itself. But for now, I've just got to figure out how to get down without breaking my neck. You really have to appreciate just how far you can see from here, which of course is part of the point of this place. Be able to see before the invaders get here. I feel like I should apologize for not making it to the Seoul Tower over my shoulder. But man, discretion and valor and all that. It's still about 12:40, and I'm back down to Watchtower number 9 from 10. And I've still got 8 to go before I get back to our home base. I think it's going to take the whole amount of time. I'm pretty sure I'm being more careful than I really need to be. But at the same time, I've also noticed there have been a couple of points where I feel like I'm standing straight up, and then I realize you have this sense of balance that tells you, no, you're leaning forward. And if you aren't careful, you're going to pitch forward and start tumbling down these stairs, which would be a fatal mistake. So I'm not about to let go of one side or the other, except for very short periods of time. Whoop, see, there's another one of those long steps. And while I do have to get to one side every now and again, because the folks who are coming up need the handrails too. I'm more than willing to acknowledge that coming down is a much more challenging process than going up. To be fair, this isn't exactly the best vantage point, and the camera doesn't capture it very well. But you can see the Seoul Tower from here one last time before I call it a day. 7 minutes to 1. I've passed back all 3 watchtowers, and it still looks like I've got a long way to go. I don't know if it's I was here so much as I made it and made it back, but here I am, and just making my way down the last part of the wall. Now the steps are done, or at least the stairs. Now we just kind of ease our way down the incline, let gravity take over without killing us, and we're all good to go. I'm okay. I still get a kick out of thinking of the Chinese guards coming down here, yelling about the Mongols. Not that that's what they did. They're smarter than that. things that they'd start the fire in. So we didn't start the fire, the Chinese did. I'm absolutely certain we didn't cross this many watchtowers when the school trip was here in Badaling 35 years ago. So I've definitely covered a lot more ground than I did back then. Of course, there seems to be a lot more to cover here. Well, with it being an ideal place as a pass for a rampaging horde of horsemen to come through. To be sure, some of these buildings probably are new. Basically touristic buildings. All the same, it's definitely something you don't see at home, put it mildly. Well, that was quite the trip. Made it up, made it down, and with time to spare. Can't get anything to drink afterwards because I don't have the local currency and they don't take credit cards. So they do take certain apps again, like in Hong Kong, but I'm not downloading anything, not that I can even get Wi-Fi at the moment, so it's a moot point. I'll be all right, I think. Yeah, I've fasted for longer than this, so. Besides, we should be going on shortly, so I may talk to you then. We'll see how it goes. Till then, made it to the wall, made it back. Wish you could have seen it. At least you've got a little bit of yourself here. Anyway, hon, keep an eye on me and wish me luck. I'll need it.